This is the first of a series of lectures called Collection Analysis 2012, focusing on works from the collection of the Nagoya City Art Museum. Today, I will talk about a work by Arakawa entitled 35 feet by 7 feet 6 inches and 126 pounds, number 2, mistake. This is a massive painting with 7 panels, and here you see the word M-I-S-T-A-K-E written on it. So I am calling it Arakawa's mistake. This painting is the center of today's talk. We're going to look at each panel. So let's start from the left side. First you see M, then I, and so forth. And each letter seems to be turned into a three-dimensional object. You also see dots, arrows, and words like airplane, ocean, fish, bird, dust, wind, etc. There on the second panel from the left, if you count them all, you see 100 color sheets pasted onto the panel in a 10 by 10 grid formation. Similarly, Arakawa's painting, Look at It, from 1968, shows the words cloud, bird, sky, mountain, sun, ocean, ship, tree, and so forth. Let's say the right side of the painting is a wall with a picture hanging on it. Then there is a blank interval in the center. The words listed on the left imply those exact things depicted in the picture hanging on the wall. In the same way, each word painted on mistake reflects a variety of things. Let's now look at the S on the third panel and the T on the fourth. They are also painted as if they are three-dimensional objects. In both panels, you again see many words like radio. When it comes to the A on the fifth panel, you find grass, chair, and shadow, etc. So I am showing you a random photo I found of Bryant Park in New York, with chairs and people here and there, casting shadows on the lawn. Each person looking at the painting would imagine these things in their mind. Here are the chairs, the lawn, and there are the shadows, and so forth. Going back to the blank interval space, we have to imagine something for that blank. But looking at the words, we can let our imagination work endlessly. For example, in the sixth panel, you see dog, subway, telephone, so on and so forth. Those words may be there in place of a scene from Soho. In turn, we can suppose there would be someone who would imagine such a scene after looking at Arakawa's painting. He created the work with this supposition in mind. An image like Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper is shared by everyone, but in this case, it would be impossible to assume that everyone would imagine the same scene. On the seventh panel, you see bridge, air, and ship. The picture I brought here shows Brooklyn. You can see a bridge, river, and ship. In essence, the work Mistake, as a whole, is a layered composite of various scenes and landscapes. All the elements within are replaced by words, allowing each viewer to imagine different landscapes. Now let's look at the whole composition. Only the far right panel has a yellow background. The rest are on gray backgrounds, and the 100 color sheets appear on the second panel from the left. Consider another work by Arakawa, Landscape, 1970, that illustrates his way of depicting the world in numerous colors over a gray background. The work Mistake also treats landscapes in the same manner, that is, they are depicted as colors over a gray background. One more point we must consider is the word mistake. There is an important sentence that you can see here. And you can also read it on the handout I circulated to you. The letters in the word mistake have an average height of 5 feet 6 inches and an average weight of 145 pounds. In other words, Arakawa is saying that the letters such as M and I exist three-dimensionally, and that their average height and weight are such and such. On the surface of the canvas, the word mistake is something painted. But this sentence is telling us to make the letters mistake into concrete objects. Treat them as if they exist in reality. We are to imagine them as such. In other words, in this painting, most importantly, Arakawa is probing a way to reify language by turning the letters mistake into three-dimensional objects. They say, walk the walk. The most concrete approach would be to just make these letters into 3D objects. So the big question is, how does each human being actualize their own ideas concretely? Arakawa problematizes what exactly this process is by which human beings reify language. In addition to assigning the average height and weight to the word mistake as the idea painted on the canvas, Arakawa assigned the name to the painting, 35 feet by 7 feet 6 inches and 126 pounds, number 2. What does this title mean? The size of the painting is 35 feet by 7 feet 6 inches. I also weighed each panel, and the total of their weights is about 126 pounds. So the work is a realization of the title, and the reality is made into the title. This painting, a painted canvas stretched onto a wooden frame in such and such size and weight, is a painting that treats itself as a concrete object. In the same way, we are to treat the letters mistake as concrete objects. Only here, we are taking an abstract idea and giving it a physical reality. The work says to make mistake a reality, but in general, we tend to not want to make mistakes. Mistakes could cause a lot of trouble. They might not be corrected. Basically, we live life trying to avoid mistakes, and we see them as something negative. Perhaps each of us would come up with different images from the various words painted on it. I showed you some pictures today, but It's impossible for all of them to be the right answers. Even if we all come up with different images, there is always the possibility of making a mistake. We are essentially creatures of mistakes. In turn, we can create something new because we make mistakes. Because of mistakes, new things are born, new images arise. This is Arakawa's direction for mistakes.